He's nervous since
with my dog.
We've been gone for a minute.
Eddie Giggs, aka Eddie the Ass Eater. We'll get into that. We got a special guest today.
Super special.
And we feel honored that he even made it over here. You know, when you got super fucking busy ass schedules and shit.
You're a busy dude.
I love that shit. I've always seen him as a busy dude in my brain. We'll get into that. We got the one and only Derick G.
Derick G.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming again. Trust me, we thought about you for a minute. I saw you at your party, and that was, 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, I'm going to put you on, but the scheduling was so fucking stupid, and I was like, I'm going to wait for the right time.
I'm happy, bro. Thank you.
And I'm glad you came through. Real quick, I wanted to, because I want the people to know, if they don't know who you are, I want them to know who the hell you are before this shit's over, you understand? Because you're super important, especially to the Miami, I want to say music, pictures, photography, video scene. You know, you've been at everything that's entertainment to us. You understand? Especially
I appreciate
Miami.
that.
So, I had read that you pretty much when you started that you were riding down. You saw a big production, and it was Khaled's video. You want to tell that story?
So basically, I used to work for a barber shop. I'm not a barber at all. It was basically they just needed somebody to open and basically manage a shop, open, close.
Key manager.
Basically, just collect rent on Fridays. Like, it was like the perfect gig because I could do whatever I want as long as I was there to open, close, and collect rent. And perfect. My pay came out of the rent, so I was basically making sure I got my money at the end of the week.
Right.
And then when there was downtime, the owner also had a print shop, and he would ask me to run errands and stuff. So I'd always take a little ride. Back then, I used to have a 93 big body of Fleetwood with hydraulics, like straight lowrider, like straight LA shit.
Right.
And I was dipping to the beach, and on what's Watson Island, where they have the marina and all that stuff now, I seen a bunch of production trucks. I pulled over, and it was they were shooting We Taking Over. And basically, I saw a bunch of people with cameras there and stuff like that. There was no real security around, so I just jumped out. I always had my camera on me back then.
Like paparazzi or like news?
Paparazzi's not a thing here like how it would be like in California, but it was just a bunch of guys that they were just taking pictures and stuff. So I just jumped out, and I didn't see nobody with badges or lanyards or nothing like that. So I'm like, oh, fuck it, free for all,
Nice.
And nobody told me nothing. I learned to stay out of the way, and obviously that We Taking Over opened the chapter in Miami where like every video was being shot in Miami. Everybody was down here. Katrina had just happened, so Wayne and Burr were down here, and it's just one of those things where like that's when Miami took off on like every MTV video or BET video was a video shot in Miami, and that was kind of like the beginning of that, and that was funny. Gil Green was directing that. I didn't know him back then yet. And I didn't know who he was. I just saw this tall dude talking with everybody and like in every shot. And then it's crazy how life works because literally, I don't remember that day or the next day, I get on MySpace. This was 2006.
MySpace
and I'm scrolling and I see the picture of. I was like, oh shit, that's the dude from the video. I was like, oh, Gil Green. Oh, he's a director. Oh, cool. I sent him a message. I was like, hey, I happen to be on set. Here's some photos I took. He responded already. Oh, yo, thank you. See you around. Like 2 weeks later, this dude Judd Allison, which became Gil's partner, and they started 305 Films. He hits me up, and I've always was known for booking cars for videos. That's how I would get on set. I used to get all the cars for all the music videos. Hits me up, and he's like, bro, I need like 30 cars for a video for this Russian girl. It's like the Russian Britney Spears. Her name's Julia Kova. She had done a song with Scott Storch. And that's when Scott had the SLR McLaren Mercedes, and he had the first guy with the Bugatti in Miami, and the cars were there. So he hit me up, and I ended up calling my boy O-Dog from Straight Pimpin', and I was like, yo, you want to have the whole club in the video? And he's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I went, and funny, my cousin was here from Costa Rica. I was like, let's go check on the set real quick. I went over there, I saw Judd, I checked in with him, and all the cars were there, whatever. So, yo, who's directing? He's like, oh, Gil Green is. And I'm like, oh, dope, where's he at? And he's like, oh, he's over there. So I walked over to him and I introduced myself. He's like, oh, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm the one that got you all the cars. He's like, oh, no way. So you have your camera on you? And I'm like, actually, I do. He's like, you want to take some pictures? I was like, can I? He's like, yo, if anybody tells you anything, you're here with me. All right, cool. And then that's my relationship with him started. And obviously, that's how I got on every set. And, it was a point where, like, they wouldn't need cars, but they'll be like, hey, do you want to just come do behind the scenes? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then that's kind of like where that rolled out. I mean, it kind of grew from that to where, then I'll meet, like, I'm taking pictures of my cars on set. Then the rappers are in front of it. So the label's like, yo, can we get the photos? And the video girls are in the photos too. Hey, can I get the phone? This is like back then when smartphones weren't really a thing. Yeah. Their camera phones were a thing, but the quality wasn't good. And there was nowhere to post them. So, like, I was embraced on set. Versus now you go to a video set, there's more behind the scenes guys than there is actual production team. Everybody's trying to get their photos because they want, you know, the clout post or whatever the case may be. And eventually it came down to it. I started building a network with all like the video girls and stuff like that. So like I'll be on another set and they'll be like, hey, damn, do you happen to know any girls that would be in the video? So I'll start texting the girls that I had took pictures of on TI set or whatever. It's like, hey, you want to be in another video? And then eventually I would triple dip on set because I'd get hired to do behind the scenes. I would book cars for the video and I would book the girls for the video.
That's how you make that money.
Kill 3 birds with one fucking son.
The Hialeah hustler over there.
For real. That's hard.
Yeah, man. So like that's kind of like what set it off and kind of like turned into what it turned into. I met Bird on set of.
Is that what snowballed the Cash Money relationship?
Yeah. So I had shot. I was on set. I had booked all the cars for Always Strapped. We shot in Carew and Y. So if you remember that video, it was all red and black cars outside the club. So I booked all those cars for that, and I had been around them for that video, and something else prior to like them really like going like we're young before Young Money. And then we were doing Money to Blow. And on that set, at that point, I used to always just be on set for free. Like, the only way I would make money is, like, if I booked cars or girls. The behind the scenes, there wasn't a market for it yet. Then eventually, because content wasn't a thing.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That wasn't really a thing.
I was thinking about the year, right?
So, that for that video, Universal was like, hey, we need a behind the scenes guy. It's over here. The noise, yeah, the fridge.
It's breathing. It's breathing. That's how he fucking snores. He starts off real light like that. That's light for Eddie.
That and then it gets hard.
That's light for Eddie.
But we did a Money to Blow, and on that set, Universal needed somebody. It was a 2-day shoot. It was the first time we were shooting Drake in Miami. Drake was like obviously, you know, the new kid on the block, and it was a 2-day shoot. Big production. We shot in Hialeah. Funny enough, and you'd be surprised how many videos are shot in Hialeah at Prop Masters. Yeah,
for real.
So we did that, and then Bird happened to be on set. If you remember that video, there's a shot where he's like on this all red set with like a white Maybach and a white Lamborghini, and he's throwing money at the camera with his daughter. At that very moment, he's like, "Yo, can I see the photos you took?" He didn't know me. No one had introduced us, but they asked, "Oh, he's with Universal." Yeah. And then he told his nephew, "Yo, get his number." And like a month later, they call me. They're like, "Hey, it's Wayne's birthday. We need you to come take some pictures in the studio." Just very like nonchalant. Like I'm at a car show when they called me, and it was like literally to go that night. And I'm scrambling because like, yo, I've never, you know, even though I had done so much things, I had never dealt directly with an artist of that caliber. I knew Paid and I knew everyone from like the neighborhoods, but I had never dealt with somebody like, you know, they were, exactly. So
different story.
So they hit me up, and like I scrambled. I called my boy like, "Yo, do me a huge solid. I'm at the Miami Beach Convention Center at this car show. Bring me your lighting gear and all that shit. I don't know what to expect." I show up over there. They're like, "What's up, cameraman? Just post up right there." I'm standing there like I'm so clueless. Don't know, what's going on.
What is it, like a studio setting?
We were at Hit Factory.
Oh, a studio. Okay, Hit Factory.
They had their room in Hit Factory, and I was just standing there. If you've ever been, it's a little hallway.
Yeah, I've been.
I just posted up right there on the side. And then Wayne walks in. Once again, no one introduced me to nobody. They're just like, "Yo, post." When Wayne walks in and they start giving each other a hug, somebody goes, "Yo, cameraman, you might want to take pictures of this." So I start shooting, and it was Wayne's birthday. That's when they had got him like the $1 million Chapar watch that went viral, and the photos that went viral were mine. So they wanted me to shoot that so we can post it and it go viral.
Crazy.
The funny thing of all that was is like that's when the DSLR started, like these cameras that look like cameras but do video.
Right.
So they weren't aware that those existed yet. So I started doing video of everything. They brought out a big cake. Yeah. So I showed Bird all the photos. He's like, "Oh, you do video too?" And I'm like, super happy. I'm like, "Yeah, I just did video, you guys." He got real serious. Like, "What do you mean you did video of us?"
So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It depends how you say it.
Yeah.
That's why.
And then he's like, "Let me see it." So he literally watched every clip from start to finish, probably 20 minutes worth of footage. He looks at me and goes, "You're a sneaky motherfucker. You got a passport?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What would you charge me to go to Europe for 10 days next week?" And I was like, he's like, "Just holler at me tomorrow. Think about it and holler at me tomorrow." And then literally the next day,
he's going to Europe.
Which first time I've ever been. First time in Europe. First time on a private jet. I've only known them for a week.
Crazy.
You know, and then that was just like, that obviously changed my life because that literally took me over there. And
it's hard.
I always forget, I think it's Rap Radar that said, it's like, who needs a passport when you got Derick G with you? Because we started the whole shoot now post right after, because the whole deal was I was gonna go out with them, shoot for the week, and then come back, edit. Like, nobody knows this footage exists, so if we take a month to post it, what does it matter? Because it's not like, it's not instant gratification like it is now. We got to post it right away.
Timestamp and shit. So,
but he on day 2, and mind you, our deal was our financial deal was just shoot, and then we'll talk about edits. Day 2 is like, yo, I want to post yesterday's video tonight, and I'm like, all right. So I think we're in Amsterdam, and luckily we had a double-decker bus. And there's like a little front pocket in the front that's away from them where they're listening to music, they're smoking, they're doing their thing. And I kind of just set up a little office there because we were in that bus for the 10 days traveling all over. We went to Amsterdam, London, and Paris. And every night we had a hotel. We were at hotels, but that was just how we moved around the different countries. Right. And I just got to editing, and it was literally like he didn't. I don't think he understood that editing that fast was a thing. I think he just thought it was normal. Right. And then like we were posting.
How to edit already? Like
I knew how to. I mean, I've edited. Funny enough, I literally learned. This is hilarious for like all the content guys. They're either gonna love me or hate me for this. I'm just learning how to use Final Cut Pro like a week and a half ago because I would edit everything on iMovie. Wow. So, and I literally did my entire career off of iMovie. Wow. And then as I graduated and budgets got bigger, I just started putting people on. So I would shoot it, hand it off to one of my editors, and like that's how you start growing the company. So you start scaling, you start delegating and breaking bread with people, and you're able to do more. There's only X amount of hours in a day, but yeah. So now with that, it was one of those things where like we're posting, and because we're ahead like 12 hours, it seems like we're posting in real time. But I have that cheat window where like we got a few hours to like get stuff done. And it just became the normal for me with them where it's like I'm shooting and I'm editing right after. So like even when we'd go to the club, we'd walk into the club around 3. We'd be there for like hour and a half. They dip around 5. I would go home, start editing to try to turn in the edit before they went to sleep. Wow. So I can get if it's approved or not. So then that way I can post it and then go to sleep. And that became my life for like 4.5 years. Jesus. Yeah, so then I got to the point where it's like I started putting people on, and it's like editing, and like we were now scheduling, like, okay, we're shooting this today, but we're going to post it in 2 days. Yeah. And kind of, when I got like the confianza with them to like stand my ground for certain things and be like,
Yeah, you were a weekend.
You know what I mean? When I first came in, you don't want to fuck up. You don't want to fuck up the relationship. You want to know that you're about it. You know what I mean? So
knock it out, make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it worth it?
Oh, 1,000%. I've been to 6 out of 7 continents. I built my name off of that. When that was done, I got LeBron. When I met LeBron knew who I was, so it was like a mutual respect. It wasn't like he was putting on some kid. Like I'm older than LeBron, which is crazy. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's really weird because you look up to him, and it's really weird. It was weird as fuck. But it was one of those things where like he gave me my respect as like an individual and as a person. He knew that I didn't need to be there to continue my career, but he knew that it helped, and it was something they needed at the time, and it made all the sense in the world. I was literally with the biggest label at the moment, Cash Money, YMCMB was from 2009 to 2015. They were the guys, you know what I mean? So it naturally happened to where, we kind of parted ways, and not in no bad terms. I think it was one of those things where it's like, I guess it became redundant. They had another guy kind of tagging along that was paid by another company, and I had mentioned to him, and this is when you shoot yourself in the foot. Me and him were going to all the same places to shoot the exact same stuff, but the company used to post my stuff. But Bird used to have to pay for me. The company would pay for the other guy, so it was free to Bird. And I would just tell Bird, hey, like, it's kind of a waste of time and money to, like, for us to be shooting the same shit. He goes, damn, you're right. He never called me again. So I shot myself in the foot. Damn. But the way it worked, then I got LeBron. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
one door opens the next.
Exactly. And to me, it was, like, literally, and I've said this a bunch of times in interviews and stuff where, like, I talked about my first experience with them on a private jet was, hey, meet us at the airport. We're taking off at 7. Or meet us at the airport at 7. I would show up at 6:30, 6:45 to be safe. Yeah. They would show up at 2 in the morning.
No fucking.
So I'm sitting at a turn, mind you. Yeah, with private jets, so they can do whatever. Sure. And mind you, I'm not complaining. It's just obviously time and everything. But we're in a badass terminal, flat screens everywhere. It's 2006, like I mean, 2009. I'm like, when I started with them, it was 2009. So it's not like it was a bad place to be. No, for sure. But then you start thinking about like, damn, what could I have done with that whole time? Whatever the case may be. But then I also told myself like, yo, you're getting paid a day rate. Like, why are you complaining? You're getting paid sitting here. And back then, streaming wasn't as big as it is now. So like, I would take DVDs and watch DVDs off my laptop until like, and then you build the network. Then you become friends with the drivers. You become friends with the security guards. And you build that network to where like, hey, we're 10 minutes out. We're 15 minutes out. Security is the same thing. We walk in somewhere, security needs to go use the bathroom or something. They'll be like, yo, let me know when he gets up and starts packing his shit so they can move around. Because they're not sitting in the room with us. They're usually outside the door. So they got to go use the restroom or whatever the case may be. And they're not telling them anything like that. You know what I mean? So you built a network. So eventually, like, I'll get with the drivers there. It's like, yo, we still haven't left this crib. Okay, cool. I know I got 45 minutes. If I want to go eat, if I want to go down the block, I want to go to the mall, I want to go do whatever I want. Then be like, hey, he just jumped. We're about to leave the building. Like, he's walking down. Cool. Then I can calculate that this is from his house to whatever airport we're at, and it's kind of just built that way. But it's one of those things where you learn, you know, as you go. But it was definitely a learning process.
So you leave. You're not with Cash Money when you go with LeBron, and with LeBron, you just like his personal photographer, or he's for whatever he's doing. I guess business wise, events wise.
So at that point, he was doing, like, since content was becoming what it is now. Like, they were doing, I don't know if you remember, like, when Verizon or certain, like, hey, get this cell phone and get exclusive content, like, behind the scenes of this. He had a deal with, it was Verizon, I believe, where everything I was shooting was going to Verizon phone users only. So, like, that was a deal that they had there, something like that.
That's dope.
It was cool and it wasn't, because you could only see my footage if you had a Verizon phone. Yeah. So it was one of those things where, like, that happened. Then we went through the whole... it was the summer, or the season was over. We went to Vegas for, like, the camps and stuff like that. He had, like, a Nike campaign, and then it was also while he was doing the decision. When it was like, where was he gonna? Because his season was over, his contract was up. What was he gonna do next? He announced he's going back to Cleveland, in Vegas. Then we all fly back to Miami. They flew on the Nike jet, which is insane. I flew commercial back to Miami, grabbed all my stuff, and then we all went to Brazil for the World Cup. 2014.
Wow. Jesus.
And so funny, I had to fly commercial because they wanted me to get there to shoot him getting off the plane and cutting through the airport. So it was one of those things. I get there, I shoot all that stuff. And I had been in Brazil a month prior for Beats by Dre for the beginning of the World Cup. We were flying in for the final game. And I mean, like, I've said this before as well. It's like with LeBron, it's a different game because he's precision. He says a certain thing, hey, we'll be done by this time. 15 minutes before that time's up, we're done. Hey, pull up at this time.
Ain't no 2 in the morning.
Yeah. I know there would be early.
Fucking said 7. He's here at 7.
Yeah. No, there would be early calls, but it was because obviously he's an athlete.
No, okay.
Yeah.
He told you what time it was.
Yeah, no, he never.
Cash Money's gonna be there at 7 and there at 2.
Yeah. He never. It was so strategic and so the precision was so on point that I can book other things to do throughout the day and still be on, like, one day it was like with him in the morning for Beats by Dre, then leave, finish with him because I need to get back with him till he would, like, the afternoon. I had to go to West Palm to go shoot something with Serena Williams for Beats by Dre, then drive down from West Palm to meet with him at his house, like, at 4 p.m. or something, to then spend, like, the rest of the afternoon with him. And then when I was done with him, then I had to go do a photo shoot on the beach for this other rapper from Miami. And this is all in the span of one day. So there's a Beats by Dre check, the LeBron check, and then this other artist. But because obviously LeBron was my priority, but because his schedule is exactly how he says, I was able to that shows you the importance of, like, respecting people's time and being on point. You know what I mean? Like, even I'm very, like, I text you, hey, I'm on my way, I'll be there at that exact time. I'm very big on that because, you know, if I'm gonna be 15 minutes late, that's 15 minutes that you can run an errand real quick for the family, whatever. You gotta use the restroom, you gotta do something. So, like, I'm very big on, like, communicating, like, if I'm running late, if, you know, I'm gonna be on time and whatnot.
And those are 2 different worlds, being with Cash Money and being with LeBron. But which one was more fun?
But they were
both fun, 2 different fun.
Yeah. So that's the thing. None was better, none was worse. They were both just different. They required trust. They required a lot of time. They required a lot of travel. You know, trust being the biggest one.
How did you feel the trust factor knowing a whole crew for a week? You know what I'm saying? Even though you know who they are because they're figures. But you don't, at a personal level, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who they are behind the scene. We know what they're supposed to see.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, it's them trusting me more than the other way around. Like, you know, I'm not an idiot. If I ever feel that my life is in a situation where I need to get out of there, I'm out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just more of them being able to speak freely around the camera guy. You know, like, they don't know what my intentions are. You know, they don't know. And obviously, it's proven itself. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Where, like, I can be in a room, I can hear conversations about deals that happened 3 years later, and I remember sitting in that room, and I never spoke up about it. You know what I mean? I wasn't there to stir the pot or leak information or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where it one wasn't better than the other. They were both amazing experiences. It's just different. One was a little more chaotic. You know, the other one was a little bit more strategic. You know what I mean? So, but they were both great experiences. Like I said, I learned with Cash Money, I learned patience, and with LeBron, I learned gratitude because I was like, I'm getting everything I paid for, in the sense of like time, structure, organization that I wanted with Cash Money. Right. I got it with LeBron.
Dope.
You know what I mean? So, but the good thing too, even with Cash Money, I can go to sleep at 5 a.m. and be up at 7 like nothing. That's just like how my clock works. I've always been like that my whole life. So even with like the Cash Money guys, we'll be in California, and they go to sleep at 5. They wake up early afternoon. I'm still up at 7.
Right.
Trucks are always downstairs, so I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go roll around the city and go shoot some B-roll. Take one of the trucks, just be back by 3.
Oh.
So I used to basically have like car service. Time, right? I would be able to go do sightsee, go shoot whatever I wanted to shoot for the edits, and like I never really had direction from them. Like they would watch it and be like, yo, take the 2 seconds out. I don't like how I look there, and that's what it was.
All that time that you had with Cash Money and with LeBron, were you tied in with Gil Green?
Yeah, Gil was there. Gil was there from, when I was always in Miami. So, like, anytime there was a video set, and then I would get more involved with, like, helping them with creative or, just helping them cast or even shooting. Like, there's a couple videos that I did second camera for, like the Pitbull Neo Time of Our Lives. I did second camera on that one because they wanted, so basically, like, all the party shots of, like, everybody. Like, that's literally me holding the camera doing all that stuff.
I like that video.
Yeah, I love that. That was one of my favorite songs, and the fact that they asked me to do that was pretty dope. Welcome to My Hood, the security footage from the beginning, that's literally my camera, because they wanted something with a little bit less quality than the actual camera they were shooting to feel like a security camera. Right. So there'll be moments where it'll either be Gil, Dio, Judd, or even like Joe Labisi, which was the DP for a lot of their jobs, where they'd be like, hey, you want to help us shoot a part of this? Even for the Heat intro, the last one, when they celebrated the 35-year anniversary, the shot of the location where Jimmy Butler was in the Camaro, that's actually my shot. So like little things like that where they'll be like, hey, help us shoot this stuff here and there. So no, yeah, Gil and that team were always around in that era. Obviously super proud of me, and like I've always thanked them. Like I even have 305 Films tattooed on me because like they were the ones that they opened doors for me.
Oh, technical difficulties already, buddy. Gotcha.
That's
I'm doing it different. I'm not using the sandwich request straight to.
Okay. Gotcha. And the next one, I wanted to ask you about. Mayday, our boys Mayday, where how you got them into a video with Lil Wayne. Remember they were on the roof. Was that the Marlin? I think that was.
It was at the Marlin. Yeah, the rooftop of the Marlin.
Super dope. How'd you plug that?
So
I heard it was you that plugged it.
I don't remember if it was me or not, to be honest.
They told me it was you to give you all the credit. Take it and just make up a story, a good one.
I know.
Make it up.
I think
EFN told me it was you because of him. EFN said that Derick G plugged that for us.
I don't remember. I know I was, because I even shot. I remember EFN was very heavily involved with Mayday back then. I know
I
they're
thought
still
it was
close
your
friends.
relationship with Wayne.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So what I think it was. Oh, you know what it was? I know exactly what it was. It was for She's on Fire. They needed a rock band. So I talked to Drea.
Yeah.
Talked to Drea. And I was like, hey, would you guys want to be in a music video? Just kind of be like a background band for it. And then Wayne fucked with them. And he even wore the Mayday shirt and the whole shit. And then they built that relationship for him.
Did you shoot that too?
No, I was on set for that. That was Gil Gil and Dio, yeah.
That shit was dope.
And that's what it was. So yes, I take full credit for it. But like, yeah, I got them.
He does now.
Yeah, I got them for the She's on Fire. That's what I was saying for.
I don't remember the name of this, but I guess
La or something like that. Yeah. So I was there for that. Like the helicopter footage, you see me with my red hoodie on the roof and whatnot. But yeah, so the initial relationship was through me for She's on Fire, which is that like one of Wayne's biggest rock records that Cool and Dre produced. So another Miami team on that.
Yeah,
Cool and Dre.
I didn't know that.
Cool and Dre.
Yeah. That's dope.
That's hard. I didn't know that.
And then yeah, so like that's how they met, and then they built a relationship with them because anytime they needed a rock band, they're like, yo, what's up with Mayday? And then Wayne was a fan of theirs, so like it just happened, you know what I mean?
That was super hard.
I completely forgot about that.
That was super hard. Big up Mayday, it's my boys.
Oh yeah.
Why the hell I went to your Scorpio Fest, I went to Toe Jam, all the parties were the fucking shit. I know you stopped them. Why?
So the last one I did.
You know
was,
they were all a success.
But you the originator of 305 Day, right?
No, so I'm not the
No?
original. So
No?
305 Day was started by a different group. I used to work with them, and I used to be involved with their stuff. I parted ways from that group, and I started doing my own thing, which is we're going to year 3 now in 2025. I did proof of concept was last year that I did at Oasis. This last one earlier this year was the one that you guys all came to, which I did at Maps Backlot, and I'm already planning next year. But no, 305 Days, but completely different people. It's just they brought me in as you guys know. I'm very passionate about the community and the crib and all that. So like when I was introduced to them, it was one of those things where like they understood the value, you know, to a certain extent. But as things get bigger, more people are involved. You know, it's one of those things where it just didn't flow as smoothly as it used to. And once you start realizing like you don't need to be somewhere anymore. Yeah. And that's how I felt, and I just kind of bounced out of it or whatever. But no, I won't take credit for that. I did not start 305.
But it all started in Hialeah, right?
It started at the Leo Arts District was where they had the first few. Yeah, and then COVID happened. They deaded it. We ended up doing something where like we went and everybody was doing little things like in their stores and in their restaurants. So instead of doing an event because we couldn't do like the large gatherings, I came up with an idea to kind of go to everyone. We announced it like, hey, if you're doing something, let us know. We want to pop up and document it. And basically, we traveled. I teamed up with my guys, Chris and Kev from 24K, and we kind of moved around the city and just kind of filmed what everybody was doing in their stores and their restaurants. And we put a whole edit together because we couldn't do the party itself. And then I think we did one more in Hialeah, and then we decided to bounce from Hialeah. We went to Factory Town, which is like Brownsville, Hialeah area, like where they meet right there in Northwest Miami-Dade. And then that was my last one with them, and I parted ways, and I did my thing at Oasis, and I'm not sure what they've been doing, but...
No, I missed the Hialeah ones because
the Scorpio...
my little chongas, I love Hialeah.
You know,
I missed it.
They got the best pair of flip-flops out there.
I love it. They get them all from Winn-Dixie.
So that Scorpio Fest is your idea? That's your greens? Or
no, Scorpio Bash. Scorpio Bash, man. Yeah, I'm a Scorpio. Yeah, my birthday is coming up now, November 8th. Scorpio Bash is starting, like I said, I don't smoke or drink. I've been straight edge my whole life. It's one of those things where like I wanted to I don't party, I don't really go out. Funny enough, today I'm actually gonna go after here. Casey Chops is doing his Scorpio Bash at Copper Blue, so I'm gonna actually go pop in and go say what's up because he invited me out. Right. But I started it as just something to do with my friends. I happen to know a lot of Scorpios for whatever reason, and I grew up with like 3 main ones. And it was one of those things where like we just started doing it on our own, and then as I met people in production, I started inviting them in on it. And it used to be one of those things where like, with the best thoughts possible, it was like, hey, let's all meet up early, let's set up, and then once the party's over, we all break down. The only difference is that they all got fucked up. I didn't. Yeah. So I was ended up by myself, and getting people to help when they're drunk, that's not gonna happen. So then eventually, I just kind of turned it into not necessarily a business that made money, but it became a business in the sense where like I would charge the Scorpios $250, but they could show up whenever they want and they can leave whenever they want, because with that money I would cover costs of setup, breakdown, cleanup, the whole 9. And I would always stay till the end because 95% of the time it was at a friend's venue. So obviously they're either hooking me up for my birthday or they're giving me a better rate or whatever. So I always wanted to make sure that, you know, my people, that I never mess up my name or anything like that by like, you know, coming in and destroying a venue or whatever the case may be. But the last one I did was my 35th. I'm actually turning 41 now. So that was 6 years ago. I did my last big one. For my 40th, I kind of just did something really small over at Museum of Graffiti. Shout out to Allison and Kat, you know, letting me hold the space or whatever. But we just did something really small, kind of just close friends and family. But I mean, it's different. Basically married, you know, it's a different game. Like those parties were like, you know, mayhem.
I know.
You know what I mean? So
you know, I know about the Scorpio Bash because of my wife. My wife was always Derick G everything. She's like, you gotta go to this party. We go. I know she. Every time she sees you, she takes the picture with you. I'm like, go get your picture. Hurry the fuck up. She's so funny because she has to get the picture. But she's been to every one of your parties. She's the reason why I went to all your parties. And every one of those shits was off the chain. Yeah, no, we would have a blast. But it was fun because it was not pretentious. It was organic. Yeah, and it was real people from the crib. Like, there's no... We did it at Toe Jam. That shit was hard. Yeah, we did it. I did it at Toe Jam twice. So the first one I ever did was at a Toe Jam. And then I did Toe Jam again. I think it was like 5 years later. I did another one at Toe Jam again. I went to the first one. That was like years ago, I'm sure. I don't even remember when was it. Gil Green was there. There was a fucking... I forgot what car it was. It was all... That was the second one. That was the second one. Yeah, that was the second one. The first one we did was like... I don't know, like... This had to be... This shit was off the fucking chain. Yeah, no, that was the second one.
Yeah, no,
That
those were
was
fun.
hard.
Yeah, it was super fun. All right, just wanted to see why.
I got to that one late, but it was still.
Yo, I didn't even know
Chuck
you fans
Lapena was
really
there,
good. And then I turned the
nice.
corner, my whole crew was chilling in the corner. Like, everyone had to, but we didn't even speak about it. We all ended up there. It was nuts. It was fucking hard. That shit was super dope. Real quick, your camera, because I was reading something about how you said that you never really recorded video. You were always taking just pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because you didn't care for video production, or you just wanted to just be a camp like a.
I've always loved photography, and it was one of those things that happened, I guess, by mistake. Like, I never imagined that it would have turned out the way it did for me. I always picked it as an elective in middle school and high school, and I never got it. I got TV production in 9th grade, which is 99. Mm-hmm. So we weren't even, like, digitally editing. We were editing VHS tape to VHS tape.
So what was your first camera?
Canon Rebel XT.
Your first.
Canon Rebel XT. I actually got into that was my first camera that I just bought, and then I got into an accident. I messed up my shoulder. I came up on a little bit of bread. Nothing crazy, like 7Gs. It was nothing crazy. And with that money, I went and bought my first MacBook, and I bought my first like DSLR, and that's like what changed the game for me, because that's when we went. I happened to buy that camera right before Gil and Judd had booked Rick Ross in the Dream. All I Want Is You, which we shot in Medellin. So they brought me out as to help them cast, to be a translator, to do behind the scenes, because that whole crew doesn't speak Spanish.
Wow.
So we went to Medellin, and like, think about like having to communicate with the whole crew down there and all that. So they brought me down as a translator and to do behind the scenes. And I would always help them with the castings up here with like Lashana and that whole team from Ethnicity Models. So like, since we're going down there, like, yo, just help us with the casting and whatnot. So. And you can imagine casting in Medellin was a different animal.
Man, I wish I was on.
You know, but that camera. So
I don't know about Medellin. Go ahead.
So funny thing is, back then there was only like 2 other like that were like really really known video guys back then, and it was Jordan Towers from World Star Hip Hop, if you guys remember him from back in the days.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Spiff TV. And Spiff, that's when Spiff was walking around. That's when Spiff was Ross everywhere.
Yeah.
So like they were down there, and DSLRs were so new that they didn't even know about them.
Word?
So I knew who Spiff was. Spiff didn't know who I was. You know, I was like nowhere near like where Spiff was at the time, and he sees me holding the camera like this. You don't hold this camera like that. You always have them up to your face, but he sees me doing like moving around, and he's got like a camera rig on his shoulder. Obviously, me and Spiff became real good friends after that. But then he just walks over to me like, he's like, "Yo, you're doing video on that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, let me see it." He checked it out, whatever. We were cool on the whole trip. And literally 2 weeks later, I see a Ross video come out in the same quality. That camera had a very specific quality to where, like, even, like, the girls on set were like, "Oh, you're the guy with that super HD shit. I gotta be careful because you can see everything."
In fact.
Like, you would see everything. Yeah. Every detail, every grano, everything, you would see it. So, like, girls would be like, "Oh, let me go touch up my makeup." Because back then, it would only shoot, like, 30 frames. And if you know about frame rates, like, 30 frames crispier. It's a whole thing.
Right.
And, but then, funny enough, 2 weeks later, I see a Ross video pop out, same quality. He went and copped the camera, and then like 2 weeks after that, Jordan Towers dropped something. So Jordan probably peeped his shit, and then that's when like the whole DSLR phase started, like in the hip hop side. But it was one of those things where like I heard about it, and it was like I didn't know nobody with it. And I was like, this is gonna make some noise, and like obviously we're here shooting on DSLRs now, and like that's like the world now. You know what I mean? Even going to Live, I don't know if you guys know it. So Live, I don't know if they have it now, but back in the days, you weren't allowed to do video. You were only allowed photos. And a lot of concerts, you're only allowed photos, no videos, because of the whole Live Nation contracts and all this other stuff. So when they would see my camera, they're like, "Oh, that's a photographer. That's not a video guy." So everybody would get kicked out that does video, and only the photographers would be allowed to be there. So I would get footage of everything, and they had no idea. And then I would drop the thing the next day. And back then, that's when like DerrickG.com was somewhere you would go to catch up like on hip hop in Miami and whatever. So like any concert I went to, I was there dropping clips of footage that people were like, "Yo, how the fuck did you get that?" And, you know, and they were just like, that little camera was the shit back then, because even like when I was rolling with Bird, we would go to places. Same thing. People that work at Gucci weren't aware that these photography cameras did video, so they would just thought we're in store and they're taking pictures is cool. But then we would drop an edit, and they'll be like, "Oh, they did video in our store." And back then it wasn't like these fast 1 minute, 60-second videos. Those videos used to be 10, 20 minutes long. So it's literally, if he's in the store for 20 minutes, you're going to see it for 20 minutes. So they would drag, and then it came to the point where we would walk into this specific Gucci store in Beverly Hills, where like they would walk in, and the Gucci security would stand next to me and be like, "Yo, you can't film." And they would walk around me the entire store, because they knew I was there to film. Like they had got used to seeing my face.
yeah.
But then I used to do this thing where like the camera was so bulky, I could literally lay like here and press record, and I would just like, if you're stunning, I'd just be texting on my phone and I'd just be filming this way. So like if you'd be walking this way, and they never thought of anything, and then we do the edit. Even Stunner's like, yo, when'd you shoot that? I was like, the whole time, they didn't peep it. And like, so that camera, you used to get away with murder with that camera. And then finally it became like you couldn't control content. Smartphones were everywhere, and at that point they just gave up and they let you do whatever you want. But there was a lot of things that I was able to do with that camera when it first came out that weren't technically allowed.
That's crazy, yo.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
I ain't changed the game on that end.
That's dope. Especially for like a social like you.
I mean, I could just imagine, since you talking about you was on private jets going to Europe with cash money, there had to be some socials on there.
Nah, believe it or not, bro. And this is the funniest thing ever. Like this whole shit that's going on now and like all this shit. You gotta understand something. When I joined them, they were 20 years in the game. It was new to me. It wasn't new to them.
Right.
It was very, very. It wasn't. It was. I don't know about Wayne's playing. I was always a Stunner. Stunner's an older dude.
So,
Stunner. Remember, even though they are who they are, they're grown ass men. You guys do what you do here, but then you have your life. You guys are not, attached to by the ass or whatever the case may be. So same thing. Wayne had his own jet. Wayne had his own buses. Wayne had his own situation. Wayne had his own clique.
That's what the party is.
Remember, he'd been in it for 20 years too.
Yeah.
So after a while, I don't know. I wasn't.
Wayne started when he was like 9, so 20 years, 29, you're still young. That's not that.
He was popping off the baddest bitches.
He was freaking popping all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, but believe it or not, bro, it was never nothing.
No,
nothing worth talking about. I mean, there was people around, but it wasn't nothing worth having a conversation about. You know what I mean? And it wasn't nothing like, this is bigger than the private jet. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do in there? You know what I mean?
A lot. I mean, you can do a lot.
He has a whole screen. He ready to make a movie out of his whole vision right now. He got some shit on his mind.
I love it. But
he's certified ass eater. Like,
you don't.
How many asses have you ate? Do you know? You counted?
Listen, the body count is a little high, but it's not like just anybody. Like you just can't eat anybody's ass.
Well, you can't say the body count's real high and then say you can't eat. Well, you think he knows? You think that he thinks he knows 3,000 bitches?
No,
they're all good, clean bitches.
I wish there was 3,000 clean bitches that I ate up, but no,
you know what I mean?
I didn't. But still, you got to put some time and effort in, get to know the person. Then you get to the booty hole.
Okay.
You don't just go to it.
Like,
is it straight like mouth to ass or like you work your way down?
He goes down.
I'm all over the place.
So you gonna ass to mouth?
Ass to pussy to mouth.
They don't want to admit it, but they'll tell you that after you ate the ass.
He knows.
It's happened, no problem.
Right.
And all the because he, how many pictures he took of females?
Okay,
I was a fan of going looking at this shit because all I saw was just girls. I said, damn, I need to go work with RG. I hold the camera, son, hold the light.
What looks better than girls in pictures?
No.
They look great in pictures.
At that time, was you married or were you single?
No, I was single for the most part.
Oh, so you was on local.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't local like that. Here's the thing. You gotta understand something.
When you got that camera, the girls are like, woo!
You gotta understand something.
He ain't lying though. The cameraman gets love like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons.
That's the best reason.
He loves those wrong reasons.
Those are all the best reasons.
Nah, believe it or not, like you gotta understand something. All of the girls, the rappers, the athletes, they all have one thing. They all have one thing in common, and it's trusting you.
For sure.
Because you're sitting in rooms like, mind you, consider like what barbers are, what your barber is to you. Someone you have a conversation with. Some of these women, I would shoot literally every inch of their body, see everything, and they become comfortable with you. Where they start talking to you about like their life and like all the crazy shit they got on, the celebrity they just smashed.
It's crazy you said that. He's the one that gets comfortable with the women.
No, but I'm
butt naked.
I'll get them comfortable and then all of a sudden, they love.
I was gonna get there. They get comfy because he gets comfortable first. You understand? Imagine this big, hairy, fuzzy guy gets bucket naked, and she's like, "Well, I ain't got much to worry about. Like he's naked." You know what I'm saying? It's a little more.
He's not a threat.
No, and all he wants to do is get your ass, you Gucci. Like you don't really. The bitch ain't gonna run from that. You know what I'm saying? That's how he gets.
Yeah, I guess you never want to turn down.
He gets
right?
super comfortable. Super comfortable.
His company is coming only ass.
Right.
It's the best.
No, it's ass first.
Ass first.
Ass first?
Yeah.
Pussy next.
Yeah. if you like what he did to your ass, you gonna love what he did to your
Remember
pussy.
his cucumber?
Oh,
This guy
that's too
over
much
here.
for he's a photographer. He can visualize that fucking 20-inch cucumber. Lost that
A
shit. in
girl
the
wanted
pussy.
to get cucumbered
Jesus
out.
Christ.
Oh, you been lost
Crazy.
it.
Yo,
So I pickled
He
it.
was the only fan.
That's not a pickle, that's a-
Before that
I
shit
pickled
came out.
the.
He nightstick that shit. That shit was like this, loco.
I'm pretty sure you was across some
He had his
freaky
fingers
bitch.
on just the tips. The whole thing was in there. He almost lost it when he had to pull that shit out. It was like this.
I'm more than
Bro.
sure you dealt with some crazy ass chicks too.
yeah, but once again, full
For the wrong
transparency.
reasons.
It was one of those things where it's like, for in fact, first when I took my girl is now, mother of my kid, the first time she ever came to a shoot with me, we happened to be in Brazil. There's a girl that I've shot here many times from Brazil. Her name's Anna. I'm like, she lives in Sao Paulo. I happen to hit her, like, hey, I'm going to be in Rio if you happen to be there. Over there is like jumping from Miami to New York.
Yeah.
That's how that is. So she's like, oh, what dates? I told her, they said, yo, funny enough, my man's going to be there. So I'll come out so we can shoot and I want to meet your girl. And then I'll just go hang out with my man. So we go to the lobby. Brazilians are very friendly. They're very open. She literally runs down the line. And my girl's Cuban, so you already know.
Yeah, we know. That's why
Yeah.
she wasn't letting you go to Brazil by yourself. Yeah, I'm going with you.
So,
That's right.
So, chick runs out, jumps on me, gives me a hug. My girl's looking at me crazy. Then let's go with me. She goes and hugs her, and then she peeps. Oh, this is just how she is. Cool. We go up the elevator. Makeup artist is with us. Super flamboyant dude. Like, we get in there. She starts having a conversation. She tells my girl, "Oh my God, you have beautiful eyes." As she's telling her, she's literally taking her clothes off, having a conversation with her.
Yeah.
My girl's never been in another room with like a naked random female,
Yeah.
like that. Girls do that shit amongst
It's a
themselves.
scene,
yeah.
Like some crazy shit, and she's literally like butt ass naked, Brazilian chick, all all hooked up or whatever the case may be. And like my girl says it, she says this story a bunch of times. Where she's like, she didn't know where to look. It's like, and it's like, you can look at her like there's nothing wrong with it. Like that's And then once towards the end of the shoot, she realized like we're all there for the same thing. Me, the makeup artist, and the model are all there for the same. We're just there to take some badass photos. That's what we all want to walk away with. You know what I mean? And once she peeped that, she was with it. You know what I mean? She's like, okay, cool, I get it. So like, she's invited to every shoot I've ever done, and she decides if she wants to go or not. That's on her.
That's how it
But I
should
never
be.
put her in a position to where like she needs to like go to a dark place. You know what I mean? So
Nice,
it's like,
no.
and that's
You
the whole thing.
shouldn't.
Like I'm still doing it now to this day, and it's just to make sure that she always
Yeah.
That's my- you know what I
that's
mean?
already
Yeah.
y'all married as a couple.
I've been with my wife 20 years.
Yeah.
She goes,
That's
and if
dope.
I'm
That's
out,
dope.
she's right next to me.
Yeah.
It's just what
See,
it is.
I'm still dirty.
She's probably
I'm
looking
sick.
at me right now from the parking lot.
I'm
not
sick.
even lying. Everybody gets that look.
she's like
I
that.
don't have to worry about none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no,
Lucky you, right?
Yeah.
I do.
No, unlucky you. You single. He gets to go home every night by himself.
By myself, it's fantastic.
It's a beautiful thing.
So funny, I will actually have something to be your cucumber story. My boy, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not gonna put him on blast.
Ha! It's not a
One
bad.
day-
Your boy and cucumbers on the
No, no,
bad.
no.
But go ahead.
One day he starts telling us about this chick that he messes with,
Oh,
and like
Same
he
chick.
starts telling us some shit, and we don't believe him. We're like, film it. So he films it. Yo, you know what this chick does? This chick can puff a cigarette with her pussy.
No.
Yo, and you see the cherry light up and everything, bro.
Yeah,
That shit blew my fucking mind.
what?
How many babies she got? Because that fucking.
This was
I see
That muscle
she
power.
spit the dollar bill.
But
You squirting in that pussy quick,
Bro.
and she goes, whoop. You're like, whoa.
She spit the dollar bill.
Yo, that's probably the craziest shit I've ever seen with like.
I swear.
And I wasn't even in the room. Like I
You
said,
was
I saw a
in the
video of
corner,
it,
yeah.
and like that's like the craziest shit I've ever seen. Cause
That's
like
time.
that's one thing putting it, but then when I saw the cherry light up,
Forget
I was
about
like,
it,
what
right.
the fuck?
Yo, the
Yeah.
pussy muscle is incredible on that chick.
Well, hopefully she don't smoke it out too heavy duty. It probably gets all black in there.
She's like lungs.
The top, right?
I don't know.
pussy lungs are
It
probably
wasn't
black.
attractive. I just was amazing.
said it wasn't
You know?
attractive.
It was amazing.
Was it shaved or hairy?
It was shaved.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm imagining, I meet a bitch, I really like her.
He's gonna go
2
buy a
months-
pack-
2
go buy a
months
pack
later,
of
she tells
cigarettes.
me,
He's gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes.
I can smoke cigarettes through my pussy. And he's like, really?
Can you do it through your butthole?
Right. If you can, we are married.
Yeah, but then you're gonna get cigarette breath when you go down there.
You give cigarette breath from my shit breath?
That's
What's the
better
matter?
than- It's
They're
brush your
cousins.
Brush your teeth.
Listerine. You're good.
You need to do like butt mints.
Yeah, butt mints.
You should
Hey! Write that shit down.
You could be the silent partner.
Dog.
Make some money.
Derrick G's butt mints.
What man?
So only because the branding, sorry, Derrick G, the branding will
And
work.
since you know all the girls, you put me down so I can take a picture.
There you go.
Right. Popping it in her butt
the
like
butt.
that. Oh, he's with it. 1,000.
Only mints.
Only mints.
Stop it. I will
Oh my
not do
God.
OnlyFans.
Edo, I don't know out of all the ideas that they've given us, this is it.
That's it, right?
How not? We've always talked about that
No, maybe.
scenario.
I like your ideas.
Great fucking idea.
What is it, Eddie? That asking you? So EAE butt mints.
There you go.
You already got it. Yo.
You're not gonna remember that, so
No,
put it in
I'm
your little
gonna
phone.
remember that.
Like
EAE butt mints.
Oh, what you could do? You could snatch the EA Sports, be like EA, stick it in your ass.
yeah, EA mints. It's in your ass.
It's in your ass.
Dale.
That's it. Listen. It's coming out soon.
EA mints. It's in your
Derrick
ass.
G gonna have something to do with it as
Oh,
well.
he
So
has to
I'll
get
shoot it.
percentage.
just so you know,
I'll shoot it. Now we are fucking in.
it's official.
Official.
That's amazing.
Cut the check.
He can get also maybe those little make up little. He doesn't know what I'm about to say, but he will after little like plastic couplets that you can put over the cauliflower.
Yeah.
Sabe?
No, Colin. Listen,
You have no idea.
they love talking about this fucking story.
No, we first of all love is
Y'all love talking.
Love is not in the
Everybody
sentence.
that comes on, they talk about the cucumber.
Yeah, he about it.
Cucumber,
No,
the
no,
cauliflower.
Boris, is that
The
story
cauliflower.
fucking crazy or
You gotta
not?
bring it up. Huh?
Is the story crazy or not?
Super crazy.
So you guys like your vegetables then?
No.
He's a fucking.
He
Listen,
loves it.
I'm gonna break
Fucking
it down
vegan at
quick
heart.
as fuck because they'll drag the story.
So you're
long.
vegan?
Nah, we're not
Not
I
booty
am,
vegan.
But this shit right
That's
here,
vegan.
I told you to say it.
I would've-
but
Wait for the
would've
story,
done-
and then you'll know why.
and y'all bringing it up, so I might as well let them know what the
They
fuck happened with
heard
the
it.
Don't lie to
cauliflower.
him, though. Don't lie to him.
No, real
Go.
quick. All right. So there
Don't
was
lie.
a chick I met that's like a biker chick. She rides fucking Harleys, loud as fuck. Anyway,
Would you ride on the back of the bike with her? No. Nah, okay.
He's on the handlebars.
I'm on the handlebar, swinging my legs.
Are you in the front facing her?
Yeah.
Yes. He's
Listen,
He's
I live
backward cowgirl, whatever that's called. Dale.
Reverse.
I live here in Kendall. It's quiet. A Harley, loud as fuck. 2 o'clock in the morning. So whatever. Told her shut the fuck up. Told her shut the bike up. Came up. Get into the house.
It's already bad.
Move it, get it in, boom, boom, get it naked. And that. I was gonna go eat that.
Brace yourself.
Bend it over.
Ooh.
And then, like, the biggest 2 big hemorrhoids just popping up. It's just looking like cauliflower.
I show what the fuck it looked like. It was like this, logo.
It was,
He said, "What the fuck
I
is
said,
that?"
whoa. And then
He didn't eat it.
I felt
He
bad.
didn't eat it.
So I tried to, like, squeeze the butt cheeks together so it could, like,
Push it in.
push it in.
Disgusting.
And it didn't work. So then I said, all right, go ahead. Boom.
Let's say it
I had
did
to
go
figure it
in.
out.
Let's say it did go in. You gonna lick that shit?
No, but at least I would have done a doggy style. I didn't have to
would've
see
eaten
it.
it. You
No,
would've
no, I
ate that
wouldn't have
shit.
ate it. Because it would have popped out. Imagine it popping out
Nah,
while you
mama.
eating it. You're like,
Ew.
oh, and boop.
Ew.
It's a
Exactly.
little extra soft.
You
Go ahead.
know?
He tried to push him in. They didn't go in. So you did what? He did the more noble
I
thing.
flipped it over and then just fuck. I said, all right, listen, you got
Well, you ate the pussy first.
Oh, I ate, of course.
The pussy, and since you, well, I'm gonna tell you why not. Because when you had her this way,
Yeah,
the
you
cauliflower juice went into her
No,
coochie,
no.
and then you ate that.
There was no cauliflower juice.
Derek,
It was just out of hand.
She's
hemorrhoids. And
Oh.
then she said, yo, it's because of riding bike. Like,
So-
I
so
guess
our-
motorcycles.
So let me ask the question I always ask. When
So
you
now every person that rides a bike
I
got
don't
crazy
believe that.
hemorrhoids.
Hey, listen.
Well, we're not
I'm
saying
only
that.
going by what she told me.
She does though.
If it's true,
She's in Puerto Rican too. She let me know.
hey, if you're a
So,
fucking biker,
here's the
let
question.
me know if you got hemorrhoids.
Here's the question. You're a female and you know you got that cauliflower in your butt, in your booty. Why are you getting butt naked, bending over in front of a motherfucker to eat your ass when you're a sucia, no?
She's a loca.
She's a loca.
Sucia loca.
Puerto Rican loca.
Maybe she knew what she was getting into.
Well, she doesn't, but she will now. She needs EA mints. That's what the fuck she needs.
EAE mints.
It's in your ass.
Booty mints. It's
Oh my
coming.
god, I just love that idea. I'm gonna run with it if you don't.
No, we running.
And
with
I'll
it.
just give Derick his fucking
We
percentage.
running with it. We all getting into
That's
into
fucking
this.
great one.
Ass mints.
I just think it'll work.
Yo, listen.
Before you may eat your
There's
ass,
somebody.
pop a little.
There's somebody I know.
It's a
chick that I know.
suppository.
Right, like a suppository.
A Listerine
No?
suppository.
And you make it like that jelly thing so it'll like dissolve in there and it's just minty. I mean,
Oh,
it'll work.
That Derrick-
Strippers, every stripper would buy that.
And be like
They
a
smell like
lubricant,
fuck.
just in
They
case
smell
you know, you
after
get
a
it.
10-hour shift. The
What,
strippers smell
experiment?
like yeah. Why
experiment.
not?
Tingle.
You go break records at the strip club and while you're there, you put a couple mints in the asses. Hey, this is a free one, boo. If you want another one, go on
Your day for
EAMints.com.
October, you do pumpkin spice.
Yeah, well, code word, it's in your ass, you get 10% off.
Hashtag.
Facts.
Yo,
I think it'll work.
it's gonna work.
You got a check coming.
I know a female that she has she started a business because she started getting into like makeup and all types of other shit. But she started out with
the mints?
No.
Oh,
no.
I was gonna say you stole that idea.
Butthole.
What?
The whitening.
The whitening.
Whitening. Yeah.
Oh,
Yo,
Yeah, the bleaching.
the bleaching
popped off. Just
Word?
like pew. A lot of people was buying that shit.
She bleached
girls.
you?
No. I had to bleach.
Cabrón.
Man, that hair, huh?
Listen,
What are you, Cuban?
My dad's Cuban, my mom's Colombian, Mexican, but she was raised in Costa Rica, and I'm born and raised here.
Chacho.
Wow.
So the Latino United Nations.
Definitely.
I got Central, South, and the Caribbean.
You ain't.
We make it, we distribute it, everything. I got the whole network.
Born and raised in Miami?
Yeah. I was born on the beach, lived in Miami Springs till I was 3, and then Hialeah the rest.
Miami Springs.
Miami
When I
Springs
first came out here, I
first
went to
came.
Miami Springs.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's little Pleasantville.
What part of Hialeah? West side?
West side,
Yeah,
west of the Palmetto.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Hialeah has a good track record of motherfuckers making it, if you know what I mean.
It's
a lot of motherfuckers
It's a lot of
behind
hard work, and it's a lot
Obviously.
of first generation.
Yeah.
Like my mom came to this country when she was 16, and she had me at 33, so she had a full life before I was even born. So she lived in New York for a while, and she came down to Miami.
You're an only child?
Yeah, from my mom.
okay.
Yeah, I have stepbrothers and half
You
brothers
got
and
the
shit like
EFN
that.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
You're a hater, huh? My girl's a hater.
No, I didn't say
My
I was
girl
a
be talking
hater.
shit. She be like,
What if I envy that? I'm not a hater. I'm just saying.
she be talking shit too.
I
Like,
grew up with
oh,
three fucking brothers. I've never had my own room. I shared a room my whole motherfucking life with my brothers. Then I got married, so I'm sharing with my wife. Now I got married with kids. Now my little baby's in my bed all her life. I've never had my own room. I own nothing. So yeah, I'm just envious. It's okay.
But yeah, no, I'm from here. Went to Jose Marti Middle. Went to Barbara Goldman. Hung out at the Grove all the 2000s.
In
Went
the
to the
IMP
beach.
era, or that was after? No, that's 2000. That was after.
You had the white nose.
We had Wilos, Latin Kings Disciples. I remember all those guys.
They were out there.
You know.
But like, I went
Syndicates on the
for
beach.
Kendall IMPs, we barely saw them after like 94, 95, 96.
So
you know?
funny is, I used to be in a car club called Individuals. They're based out of LA and they're global now. Well, they've been global for years, but our colors were black and yellow, like black and gold. So we used to go to Don Carter's, or we would always have the meetings in Kendall. And then we used to go to Don Carter's, and the cops used to always harass us because they thought we were just like Latin Kings, we were wearing yellow and black, and we were just doing a car club shit. We were in the bike club, so we didn't have cars outside. We were like getting dropped off at the bowling
If you're talking
alley.
about Don Carter's, and you were around with the IMP era, that was IMP Central at Don Carter's.
Yeah.
And you had to worry what time you went there at nighttime. Like, after like one, that shit was D the fuck up. Anyone who was in there was an IMP.
Yeah.
It's just how it was.
The cops used to fuck with us all the time and like check our
in Kendall?
pockets. At Don Carter's, that shit never failed.
Come on. That's why my mom moved me out of Kendall, because I got pulled over like 2 years in a row. That's like 700 something days. And my mom was like, they gonna put some shit in your car. So we gotta get the fuck out. So that's the first time I left Kendall for like a year. I came back. I've been there since
I had
86.
fun in Don Carter's.
Oh, speaking of the golden black, because he's talking about Latin Kings. This is not sponsored by Latin Kings, but this is like a fidget spinner for adults. It's called the Stress Nut. DJ Nelson. No, this is DJ Nelson's Stress Nut, but that was yours. So.
Oh, appreciate that.
Yeah, in case you're ever thinking or you're stressed out or I don't know. Now you got DJ Nelson's
Thinking about different
spin.
names for all the assments.
Yeah, you
gotta
got
think.
right.
You gotta think.
No,
trust me.
it's coming.
Yes, they're coming.
It's coming.
We
You
gotta
go to the
get
strip club, like, yo, it smells like spearmint.
Well, his favorite is the Victoria's Secret, like the what is it, strawberry
the
champagne or
cherry
something?
blossom.
Cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom fits.
Cherry
There you
blossom
go.
with some dirty chancletas.
There you go.
Ooh.
Then you can go down like by AP.
He don't. If they're clean, they're not a chonga. He needs a chonguita.
You
He needs
He
to
bullet
move
holes in
around.
her ass. 2 pairs of Timberlands in the summer. That's what he likes.
$1.50 across the
$1.50.
neck.
50.
the same size.
Whatever. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a little unorthodox, but he's my friend. He's a good guy.
It's fun.
Hey, that's not wrong. You like what you like.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun. But they don't like me. I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah.
They're lost, bro.
I told him all the time.
I'm not a chongo.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
Where you from originally? Up top?
Yeah.
Where? Queens? My girl's from Queens.
All
Oh, yeah?
right.
What part?
Colombian, right?
Story no, she's Cuban.
He just said that.
Yeah, she was one of the
paid attention.
very few Cubans up there.
Yeah, there's very few.
Yeah.
I'm half Cuban, half Argentinian.
Yeah, now she
We
full
can
blown
tell.
Cuban.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. I love my childhood up north, but I love my now like even more of my pretty much young adulthood to adulthood. Like this is the place to be. I'm sorry. It's expensive when you're tight, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
One more, I'll give you a question before we roll out. So he came here when he was 16, and he's been here. He's 50.
I came here when I was 17.
Came here when he was 16 and fucking 3 months. Who gives a F? He's
17.
been here. He's 50. So the majority of his life is here. He's
Yeah.
from here, Papa.
Yeah.
See or no?
But here's the thing: at 16, you're old enough to
saw
remember
shit,
what
right?
it was.
No, I'm not taking that away.
And in New York, at that era was 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
You grow up
Like-
faster than you should.
Yeah, no, and then you come down here and it's a fucking different world. People are
Totally.
not as fast down here. They're different kind of fast down here.
Right.
It's a different kind of move down here.
It's a
different.
hustle.
You know what I mean?
Everyone's a hustle,
Like I said,
man.
I'm 41 now, and I always said I always wish I was this age in the 80s, but I was probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble in the 80s.
No.
Right.
Too
You
much
know what I
trouble.
mean?
It was
But
awesome. It was beautiful.
But it's one of those things where it's like 16 is a tough age because you think you know everything, and you already have your group of friends, and you think that's what life is gonna be. So when they pick up and move you to a completely different state,
But see, you're talking about our 16. My daughter's 16 era right
it's
now.
different, yeah.
Oh, it's all different.
You fucking kidding me? They just it is so fucking opposite from what you just said. It is ridiculous. But I don't know if it's for good or for bad. I see for bad, but I'm just saying. We at 16 back then we could have felt 20, 25 from all the shit that we had seen and went through. 16-year-olds now, they're like more like 13-year-olds from all the shit they've seen through.
Yeah.
It's two different. They don't even go outside. It's a different story.
It's
you know,
a different game.
You would get home from school. You would finish your work, go outside until the I had to be back before the sun was down. So I would use every fucking minute out there. I didn't want to be home. You know.
Yeah.
Now my kids don't leave the fucking house.
Different game.
They don't leave the fucking house.
But I'll tell you this though, it's extra hot now too.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to
It's
leave
like
the
you
crib
don't even
either.
want your kids.
I don't even
I
want
don't
to
have no kids,
Yeah,
but still,
no.
like I can understand. Like,
But it wasn't that hot when we was teenagers.
No,
like now.
we do.
This shit is
I was taking the
ridiculous.
train and the bus when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like,
Yeah.
I was already traveling.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
you can't do that. Like
I would never let my 16-year-old
wanna
go
do
right
that.
now by herself on the train and
Nah,
bus.
man. It's too
I'll
many
drive
crazy.
you.
there's
Don't
too
worry
many
about
crazy
it. This
people
shit
out
crazy
there.
out here.
And you know what I've always felt though? Like, I don't think it's crazier now. I just think we're more aware now because we can expose it easier.
Yeah.
So it's like a perfect example. This is when I started realizing the difference between like a woman and a hoe.
Oh.
And like, when I asked somebody that I used to be around a lot, and let me ask you something. Is this just new now, or am I just finally realizing, like maturing enough to realize what it is? It's like, you're just finally realizing this is what it is. And that's with a lot of shit. Like, even like people like, oh, things weren't as bad back then. I believe they were. It's just it wasn't as exposed because we didn't have social
Exactly.
media. We didn't have all that stuff.
Camera phones and
And
all
then
that
now
shit.
there's all these copycat murderers and copycat rapists and just
Of
people that want to
course.
become famous. Now you can become famous by doing that shit. Look at all the school
course.
shooters and all that stuff.
That's the crazy
You know what I
part,
mean?
that-
It's
that
like
you
they
can
want-
actually. Why would you like? That's gonna put you. Like, what you gonna do?
They wanna be
in jail.
infamous.
You gonna
But-
die.
But
Something's gonna happen.
just a testament to all that on some reality shit, on some real shit that happened to me. Me being in 6th grade, I took the fucking metro rail all the way down to fucking Overtown all the time. I went to the fucking Heat Arena to watch a concert. Like my mom would let me do that. 6th grade, me and 2 other 6th graders. I would never let my 6th graders do right. Then just think about your kids. You gonna let them go on the fucking on the metro rail to a bus?
no, different.
Hell no, you're not gonna do it.
But you also have to understand, where's your family from?
My parents are Puerto Rican.
So think about
From
this.
Chicago.
This
From
was
Chicago.
this was better than where they came from.
Yeah, we're on fucking T.
So to them, it's like, oh,
This is sweet.
this is nothing. Go do your thing.
And that makes
Have
sense.
fun.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you like this.
And that makes sense.
My mom, I was rocking out like 14 years old. I was going to the beach with the 18, 19-year-old guys from the block.
Right.
You know what I mean? My mom had a very freeing like relationship with me. My dad wasn't around. It was just me and her the whole time.
Yeah, it was just my mother.
And
I stepped that, but whatever.
even like that's why I didn't think I don't smoke or drink, because she never made it a thing to like, hey, you can't do this or you can't do that. She was like, hey, the day you want to try it, I'd rather you do it here so I know you're safe, because I was surrounded by it.
That's
Right.
right.
So imagine, I was born here in the 80s. I lived through like all the fucked up shit from the 80s and the 90s. I never pierced my ears. I never got gold teeth. I never drank. I never smoked. The one thing she forbade me from doing was the only thing I ever did behind her back. What would you think it is?
Sex.
Wow.
No.
How was wait a minute.
Get them
You
Santo.
threw out all the bad stuff. I don't know.
Tattoos. Yep.
Tattoos.
It's the only thing she told me that she forbade me from,
And you
and it goes to
rebelled
show you,
it.
and I rebelled and I did it behind her back.
See what I'm talking about? Boundaries.
Crazy.
So like that's crazy, and mind you, like I'm not
That's
one.
crazy.
I don't look for problems. I don't start problems. I'm not.
I don't look at tattoos like bad, but I understand what you're saying.
But it was one of those things where it's like, yo, it is the one thing
I
she
don't have
forbade
a
me.
tattoo.
Yeah, nah.
That's
And here's the
crazy.
thing,
And I like tattoos, but I don't. I
When
just
you
don't.
smoke, you drink.
And mind you, I'm not sure.
Aren't you the sound man? What is he talking about? What are you talking? Go ahead.
I'm not shitting on anybody that does that stuff. You know, it's each his own. It's one of those things that she never made it
No,
a
I need to
big
grow
deal.
up. I need to grow up.
So I never. So I never like found any interest in it. I don't think I was ever missing out on anything. And now as like obviously someone who can do essentially whatever they want. I know I have a lot of creative friends that they have the habit, not that they depend on substance to get creative, but they have the habit like I'm gonna go smoke before I edit, or I'm gonna go smoke before I get into something creative. My mind, look at my mind talking about aspens. Like my mind, it works in a very weird way of like just thinking creatively that I would be scared to lose that because I would need a substance to get to that level of thinking. And mind you, my friends have always told me that if you were to smoke or drink, God knows what you would come up with.
Oh shit!
Would be,
but isn't it better now that you don't smoke?
Exactly. That's my whole
monster.
That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. Where it's like I'd fear one liking it.
Yeah.
And not being, and mind you, I don't have a crazy personality. I don't have an addictive personality. Like I don't, I'm really like,
right.
I'm good with anything essentially. My favorite shit is Mountain Dew. That's probably my drug. Right. You know what I mean? But
you think Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew's my shit.
You probably was raised wrong.
Regular Mountain Dew's my shit.
That's like
that with a big cup of ice.
Right.
That's my shit.
That's like the Dew.
That's the original energy drink.
What
Mountain Dew? Yeah.
Gotta be.
That shit was.
I used to like it, but
bunch of shit in there. Yeah. Sugar's like the motherfucker.
That's my shit. And in Slurpee form,
it's a can of diabetes.
Oof.
It's amazing though. That's probably like my vice.
Everyone got one.
Yeah.
First of all, I appreciate the aspects. If you think we're not gonna put that out, está loco.
No, the aspects is coming out.
I have.
She'll be a box like this.
Just give me stock options.
Number two, I don't know if I'm addicted to it, but I need it because I'm married. I got to smoke. Sorry, I'm under assignment. You'll be here 20 years. My kids work. I work 13 hours a day for the past 30 fucking years. I am fucking. If I should have had. A weaker motherfucker would have had a heart attack already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like but I'm built for it. I've been doing it a long time, so I'm patternized, and it is what it is. But yeah, maybe I'm a little addicted to it. But the shit is that I'm stressed the fuck out.
Maybe a little addicted to it.
Before we go though, Eddie wants to ask you a question. He seems to ask a lot of people, and these answers are always funny to me.
Well, I mean, you're also a big part of this hip hop culture as well.
How we see
it. Simple question, I feel, but whatever. You know the 5 elements of hip hop?
5? Isn't it 4? I know.
Give us
4.
Give us 4.
Give us the 4 you know.
Yeah, it's graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, and MCing.
Woo. And he's 41. Well, we will be.
Well, in Miami, it's not MCing, it's mic checking.
Really?
Mic checking?
Yeah, because that's like what Al does. That's what Disco Rick did. Like when
that's
they talk about it, it's called mic checking. Yeah, so like MCing. So funny enough, at Art of Hip Hop, when they were gonna do that, we were gonna do a Miami version of it. I wanted to scratch out MC or Master of Ceremony, whatever style. People told me, and wanted to put mic checking because in Miami, like if you've heard like obviously Uncle Al or even Al Jr.
All that,
when they stop the record and they're ad-libbing throughout the whole record. That's called mic checking. And in Miami, that's obviously like a big part. That's our culture down here to do that shit. You know what I mean? Sure. We were just I don't know if you guys peeped it on the gram, but I was just at the FSU game tailgate. I actually met up with JT Money and his team out there, and we kind of walked around, just filmed him like kind of a surprising fan and whatnot. We ended up over at the Black Alumni tailgate, and they had, I think it's DJ Juice. I don't know who he is, but he has like the perfect Miami voice. He was the Chico just going in, and it was literally like it was like it's an art form, you know what I mean? Like, it's an art form, and it's just like so dope. And we were walking around, and I actually mentioned to JT, I was like, if you guys ever been to a tailgate, it's like everybody has their own DJs, everybody has their own food, everybody's doing their own party essentially in the parking lot. But like we walked around, we heard Spanish music, freestyle, booty, rap, but it was all Miami. And it was crazy. And I was like, yo, listen. And every time we went to it was literally all different genres that we listen to down here, but it's all Miami.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like where else can you go and hear that? You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
fucking
and
right.
one thing that I learned from traveling, especially you're from up top, so you came down here and you saw it was different out here.
Yeah.
Being from here and not leaving, you don't realize that we have our own style, we have our own lingo, we have our own dialect, even our own accent, and we don't realize it.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I said, I've been blessed to travel around the world, and not until I started traveling is that I realized how different we were from everybody else.
Nice.
And like that's when I started embracing it, and kind of like that's why I'm as hard. I go as hard as I go for the community, because like what Brooklyn is to Jay-Z, or what like Long Beach is to Snoop.
You are the community.
You know, Dade County is to me. So like to me is like I if you ever seen any of the photos, I got pictures in front of the pyramids of Egypt with Dade County on my chest. I'm in Sydney, Australia with the Sydney Opera House wearing a Hialeah shirt. And like that was always one of my things where like I traveled, if I knew I was gonna see a big monument, I would specifically wear a shirt from the crib to wear it out. And it'd be funny because I'd run into people in the airport, like in different continents, with a Hialeah shirt or a hoodie, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're from Miami?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Hialeah."
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
I know, Hialeah, baby.
That's funny.
But no, man, I've always embraced.
We ain't from Florida. We're from Dade County.
And that's the truth. But look at I don't know if you guys know the dude that Lion King Mufasa movie is about to come out. It's Barry Jenkins. He's the dude from Liberty City. That's directing a Disney Lion King movie. He's a Liberty City dude. Like that's like we're out there, and people don't realize it. And it's just one of those things where we got to do better to kind of show love to those people. And I know you guys are crazy hood. You guys rap hard as fuck, and like even on live on 305, how you guys were out there in numbers, and everybody told me that it was like a high school reunion.
Yeah,
and that's like the best thing.
That's the best.
And just so you know,
It's
I'm
just
already
a reunion of all the parties that we went to younger, to where like we still meeting up here and there. Like that's dope. You know,
we're just all a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we're just a little bit
It's all,
bigger.
and it's listen. Like I tell everybody, as long as you're okay, you're healthy, you're alive, and we can party together. Let's do it, because we've been separated for so many years. No one ever helped anybody. This is I'm telling you, the last 4, 5, 6, 8 years have seen like more united, and I like that shit. And we're just trying to do our part. That's why we're trying to put legends like you on, and just let's tell some stories, and let's keep the culture alive and keep Miami history alive. By the way, the fifth element is knowledge. That's
okay.
You know the New York thing. You know New York.
And listen, you got the core four, and not
With
even
the core
think
four,
about.
not even think about it. No. Dog,
Boom,
who's
boom,
at the
boom,
museum
boom,
of fucking graffiti and like I don't know how much.
If you
You probably saw that on the wall 18, 14, 19, 20 times. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to absorb
No,
it.
I've always. I mean, when I was younger.
I'm not saying you don't know it. I'm saying like you
Yeah.
had you even had your party there. But we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like that's so hip hop. There's no way you're not gonna know those. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I knew you.
There's a lot of cats that rap.
Yeah.
And
But they don't
obviously
know.
rap is part of that, but
They don't know.
And it's like
I know, and you gotta remember
It's a
something,
gimmick for
bro.
them.
And that's what it's a gimmick for a lot of people, and then that's the difference, bro. And you really learn. Like I learned, hip hop was a real thing. I can't tell you the exact moment when I like realized it, but when I mean, there's museums for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like the crazy thing, and it's like.
That's what it means.
As-
Really, you know it means something. For
You know,
sure.
and that's the thing is like if people are putting money behind something, it doesn't always mean that that's what it means. But to me, the fact that people want to be educated about it, the fact that we have different demographics or even different regional like parts to it, where it's like we all sound different. I remember when I forgot what they did. They did something to represent the South, and I remember it was a big deal because Memphis, Tennessee didn't get mentioned. So like 8-Ball MJG, 3-6 Mafia, like all those guys weren't mentioned. Something like that. It was something where they were honoring like all
Luke
that.
was talking about that. That's why I remember.
And it was like one of those things where it's like, damn, I'm a huge 8-Ball MJG fan. I'm a huge 3-6 Mafia. Like, how the fuck are they not gonna be mentioned?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
they were so impactful, right?
1,000%. You know what I mean? Like, it to me is very, very important to like honor each. Like, for example, I just came back from Chicago. Do or Die, Twista, Crucial Conflict, like all that OG like Cadillac music and all that shit. I love all that shit. You know what I mean? So we gotta. It's amazing that everyone was able to find their corner, and Miami's always had his thing, and it hasn't been as big for us down here as I feel it should be. But a lot of people come down here, use our backyard as a backdrop for their career, and it is what it is. We're the playground, and I understand that.
It's a sight.
Yeah, we're the playground. Yeah.
It's a sight.
You never see Miami artists go to
Sexy
other
enough.
cities, want to use their background. When you see Trick Daddy in LA or like we don't need it.
Listen, I'm married. I know you're married. I mean no disrespect when I say that. Whatever you do in any other city, you could do in Miami, but with 20 other beautiful women always being just to go to public street and see 10 fine women, especially in Kendall, because they get dressed up just to get their mail. You understand? They put on high heels to get their mail.
You ever been to Walmart in Hialeah like at 2 a.m?
Yeah, but there's a lot of pajamas and chancletas.
I've been there.
A lot of pajamas. You know, that's why I was there. You dragged me out there.
That used to be the shit back in the day.
They're out there. They're everywhere.
We don't want to go to the Grove.
They're everywhere.
Like, let's go do a lap at Walmart. We used to go walk around Walmart and there's just baddies everywhere.
Yeah, no, he's
So I'll buy you
He walks in, they say what's up to him by first name.
Yeah.
I said, I'll buy you a bag of cotton candies.
He ain't buying shit but baby oil in there.
Cotton candy baby oil.
What about cotton candy flavored baby oil?
Hey,
flavored?
Yeah.
See this guy right here.
I'm not mad at none of this. Because he knows it's a good idea.
Because he sees me rubbing to promo the oil. I gotta rub it on the butt cheeks.
You should just start crazy food and just start doing all this weird food shit.
We could do that too.
Yeah. Saying crazy hood presents crazy food.
Hold on, a lot of people are copying shit. We're gonna talk about this.
Holy moly!
Listen, we appreciate you.
came over here and represented.
No, word up.
We're about to make millions.
We're
soon.
super happy you came. We've been talking about you for a minute, and at first I really thought when I talked to you, but I thought you were so busy that day. I was like, I don't even want to talk to this dude right now. It looks like he's fucking. And you weren't doing nothing, but you're catering to a lot of people. So I'm like, he's doing his fucking job. And if it says, yo, go ask him now, because if not. When are you gonna see him again?
No,
you know what? You're right.
Here's the thing I'll tell you about me, man. Like, especially if it's shit for the crib.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always gonna and if I can, I'll tell you straight up, like, dawg, holla at me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
Straight up said, pull out your phone,
mean?
give me the number, and we're here today.
Yeah. So like, with me, don't ever hesitate to reach out if you see me super busy. So text me, call me when you can, and I'm very big on that because, like I said, I'm very supportive here. I've had opportunities to leave Miami to go work for big companies, and I've decided to stay here to help pioneer here and kind of help set the ground here. I may not benefit from it, but at least everyone under me might be able to.
For the gratification, for me, it's gratifying when you help someone else and you see them and you put them on and they got on. For me, that's gratifying. Like, yes, you need to get paid sometimes, but for you to do it once in a while and it happens just because Derick G said something, that's pretty fucking dope. Like, I mean,
I'm grateful that I'm able to be in those positions to do that.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
You the one that set up the radios over there?
So the first time I did that, yes. So funny enough, Allison did it twice. She did it in Shanghai or Singapore, and then she did it in New York, I think it was. I forgot where the other place was. So there was a third time that they're like, "Yo, you want to take on this?" It took me 2 days, bro. That shit is like. I love and hate boom boxes now. But funny enough, they had to switch it around. They switched it around. They actually switched it around twice since I did that. And then, so on Saturday, I'm actually doing a show and tell at Art and Hip Hop.
November 2nd, if you wanted to promo that really quick, that's what I was going to ask.
This is coming out that fast. That's why I didn't even mention it.
But
nonetheless, if you saw this,
November 2nd, if you saw this, the party was ill.
But yeah, with them, we're actually doing a show and tell because they're gonna reset the entire space for Basel. So they're actually redoing the entire Art of Hip Hop space. So my event's gonna be the last event with how the space looks now. Sunday it'll be open regular hours, and then Monday they're closing up shop.
It's a daytime event Saturday?
7 to 9. Yeah, so evening, yeah. And it's basically just be a show and tell of like cool Miami hip hop history props. So like we got like 2 Life Crew jackets, po' boy stuff. I got some Pac Jam overalls I'm gonna display. Like just real old school Miami stuff, you know what I mean? And just kind of like when we're not doing like a panel, we're kind of just doing like a group discussion. We're asking people to bring stuff if they have like relics. I don't know if you remember back in the days, Luke used to have this thing called peep shows.
Yeah, of course.
But no, he physically had like these keychains that were called little peep shows that you basically hold them up to the light, and it's photos of like the girls from like the album covers, but it's like the original photos, no censorship. So like I actually met with Luke, and he says there's 9 of them. So I have 4 of them. So I'm trying to collect all 9 of them to have them, because to me that's museum pieces. To me, all that kind of stuff, like he was doing. He's like a promoting and marketing genius. He understood that sex sells. Yeah. When no one else, no other. LA was gangster rap. Yeah. New York was like the tough. It's cold out here. We're struggling shit. Miami's like we got baddies. You know what I mean? So like that's what we're gonna do.
Baddies and fatties.
You know what I mean? So
make them bounce.
Make them and give room for the hits.
But yeah, so like we're just gonna go there and kind of just like I've kind of taken the initiative to like focus on Miami history and like Dade County culture. and I have like a crazy archive. I'm actually working on a bunch of stuff that I'll be kind of sharing soon. Where I have like crazy like, and mind you, I actually spoke to EFN the first time I came here. We actually met up with EFN upstairs, and we talked about he put me on to like a lot of stuff that I wasn't even aware of from Miami. He mentioned like this female rapper. I can't remember her name now. I think she lives in Georgia now. Mother Superior. I never had heard of her. I was not educated on her at all. And he explained to me about who she was and whatnot. That he has like that he's still connected with her. And like I'm slowly working on stuff. I'm slowly working on stuff where eventually like I want to tap into all that. And I talked to EFN about it, and he's like, I always open arms, like whatever you need, I got you on my end. But it's the same thing. Like whatever you guys need, I'm here, and like. Anything that's gonna help all of us, like blow. Even though y'all from Kendall, I'm from Hialeah, like that stuff.
We cousins. We
You always had a right with Kendall and Hialeah. That's for real. If a Kendall dude, if a girl said to a Kendall dude, "Yo, you from Hialeah?" Like, man, fuck no, I ain't from no goddamn Hialeah. All the time. This is what it was. And Hialeah, vice versa. You from Kendall? Fuck Kendall. It was always. So that's old school shit though. Yeah. We grown it.
I love it.
You want your socials?
Derick _G, retro_Dade, lottery.vintage, just all Miami shit. Just go to my Derick, DERICK _G, and I have everything on there.
Yes, sir. Hit that, guys. Let me shine over there.
But yeah, it's passing Aspens over there.
We can't tell you on camera. We can't tell you on camera.
It's coming soon with that.
We appreciate the shit out of you. Thank you for coming.
Derick G.
Big
legend
word,
in Miami,
great work,
County.
Great community leader. I'm gonna have to say.
I appreciate that. I'll take it.
I like it, and we appreciate your time. If we could ever put you back on the platform to fucking promote something or something, this is your house. You already know. Don't ever be scared to ask us. We appreciate you. Grumpy OGs, Derick G, don't forget. No, Derick OG.
Derick OG.
One of the G's on OGs. Hannibal Hank, ate the ass eater. We out.
Peace. Dope. That was fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I get to leave my house for a little bit.